What is going on, guys? We are back with another video on Madden 17. Of course, we're doing another rebuild, and this is a realistic rebuild of the Baltimore Ravens. And sadly to say, this is a voiceover completely. 4.5 hours of recording, 4.5 hours of me talking. Obviously not completely. I would say maybe an hour 50 if you want to be more realistic with that. Realistic. All gone because I don't know what it is, but maybe the USB came out. Didn't notice it, and on Audacity, the audio stopped at about 8 minutes. I probably throw that in the video at some point to show you guys that. But Ladarius Webb and Benjamin Watson traded there. I don't know if we got a fair value. It's very hard for me to see, but of course we could see the wide receiver there. He's kind of on the smaller side. We really could use a running back, but I believe we did sign Jamal Charles to fill that spot for now. But of course, the biggest need for the Ravens, in my opinion, not even my opinion, just factoid, is offensive firepower. Just, you know, wide receiver, tight end, every little need. And Justin Tucker is the first to be re-signed. And you know what? With the talent he is, we're going to give him a 7-year deal. Lock that mofo in for the long haul. And I think that is a good decision. And we made a mistake. Year one may or may not have been fired. Totally forgot to turn that off. So we lose a whole year worth of coaching XP. Not that we had a great season. I think we went 6-10, maybe 4-12, one of the two. Here are the re-signings for the year, though. Brendan Williams gets re-signed. Ryan Jensen gets re-signed. And here's the stat line. Joe Flacco didn't perform well at all. Jamal Charles was the backup to Kenneth Dixon. Tried to get him a magical rookie season. Didn't work out. And once again, look at these receivers. Perriman's the only guy with any sort of potential. Ronnie Stanley played poorly for us. CJ Mosley had a really good season, but what middle linebacker doesn't? Let's just be honest with ourselves. Zadarius actually had a really solid season, all things considered. I believe we were in a 3-4 for this first year. Spoiler alert, we do move on to a 4-3 for the rest of the rebuild after this. Offensive, not great. What about defensive? Not great. So you can see why we didn't have a winning season in the slightest. And we're looking at the awards now. I don't know if we're going to have a single one. Probably won't. And Raiders winning quite a bit of awards. So far, every single award, conference specific. Raiders and Steelers taking the toll for every single category just about. We didn't get a single award, which is all right because we didn't expect to. Eagles and Raiders Super Bowl. And, I mean, somehow, some way, it wasn't the Patriots. I'm really shocked by that. It's usually the Patriots versus the Seahawks or the Falcons or whatnot. Of course, it was not us. And Suggs does retire, which sucks. Free agency here. Usually aren't going to see anything crazy, although Malcolm Butler is a little crazy, and I wanted him so badly because we have needs at every position just about. But Malcolm Butler is a guy I never get, and he always plays really solidly for the Patriots. And I did offer him a contract, but to win the bid, it would have costed us $105 million over 5 years, I believe, which is over $20 million a year for a cornerback. So we, of course, completely pulled out of that. Yeah, that's gross. And we're just going to look for one in the draft. Luke Jackson looking decent. We really need a running back. But Kenneth Dixon for now, I suppose, is decent enough. We're going to try to find someone later on in the draft, though. And hopefully we can find someone because, once again, this offense is the big lacking factor. Our offensive line isn't the greatest. Our quarterback isn't the greatest. Running back isn't. Our wide receiver core is one of the worst in the league if you consider age and just potential skill. Tight end is decent, I suppose. And then defensively, we lost Suggs. And we really just don't have a good team at all. This is actually one of the worst rosters we've had so far. I think the Ravens are, I don't know, they have history, but, right now, the Ravens are in a really tough spot in real life. So hopefully we can turn that around with the first draft of this rebuild. And having the number 7 pick, overall should help that. And we really just waited to see who is there. What do we want? Oh, this guy is looking so good. But we do actually trade away, and the Bears are recipients of our pick. What are they going to go with? Are they going to grab the guy we were just looking at? And they don't. They take a left tackle. So we move down to our pick, and it is the 17th pick overall. and we see a couple of the players we wanted were drafted. But we're going to go with this guy, 21 years old, and we land ourselves a huge steal. Rainey Connor is great, especially considering he's 21 years old, has that quick development trade. Here we trade again, trading down to grab a defensive tackle. Hopefully he's decent in normal development trait, but 78 overall for a mid to late second rounder isn't bad at all. So we're happy with that selection. Here, not quite as happy. It says we made a good pick, but we really, really didn't. I'm looking for more and more talent. Here we're going to go with another cornerback. Can we find a late round steal? And that's exactly what we do. I just punched the shit out of the mic. That's exactly what we do. And yeah, we already have year one in the rebuild. We already have our cornerback core for the future. We have 3 great corners with tons of potential now. Looking for the, looking as our future. Another rough pick here. Nothing, it's not bad because it's late, but here, little steal potentially. McIntyre, the quarterback, 22 years old with quick late in the draft. Not sure if he's going to be the starter, but he might be the starter over Joe Flacco. Flacco had a really bad season. His contract's rough. I think we would sit him as a backup for a year or two. But this guy, he looks kind of like the future. He's young. And, I mean, at this point, in the rebuild at least, Flacco just doesn't look like the option. Maybe in real life, but he's just not going to get it done. We need a fresh face that can maybe develop beyond the talent around him, kind of like Andrew Luck. And then we could build the talent around him and then finally get him, to the Super Bowl. But, of course, after 1 year, we had a really good turnaround because we landed a decent draft pick next year, I believe, first round. And we drafted a bunch of talent this year that is really good. It's hard to find 2 cornerbacks that are quick development trait in one draft that have decent stats, but that's exactly what we did. And now we're just looking at all the players we missed. Luke Jackson, 23 years old, but very, very, very talented. Here's the left tackle the Bears traded up for. Not bad. It's just development trait is low. His strength is kind of low as well. Here's McDougal, the guy we were looking at. Normal dev. Nothing spectacular because he doesn't really have the greatest pass rushing stats. Here, middle linebacker. Very, very good player there for them. But, of course, he is on the slower side, and our guys are a lot better, I think. Jimmy Smith traded to the Eagles for a first-round pick next year. And here we look at our players, and what we see is a middle linebacker. So let's take a look and see who they are. Also a wide receiver. 5'9", 29 years old. Very old. This guy, though, looking very talented. Complete turnaround, and you can always use linebackers, so not too mad with that. And then we have a defensive end. Well, a guy that would be playing defensive end for us. Here, skip too far, but it doesn't matter as we go 6-10, just like almost everyone in the AFC North. And McIntyre, 15 touchdowns for 15 picks, a lot of yards. Jamal Charles did pretty decently. A bit of fumbles. It's not too bad, all things considered. We're really just, once again, trying to get McIntyre to develop nicely. And hopefully with that, he can bring up the players around him. Dobbs had a pretty decent season. Vickers actually did pretty well in his first year as a starter, playing a position he shouldn't even be at. But Tucker, not too, I'm not too excited about that. And then Danny Woodhead, he should be off the team soon. I don't know if he, it's sad because he's one of our better options for the slot. And then offensively and defensively, 12th and 14th, which isn't terrible. It's not terrible at all, but it wasn't good enough to get us to the playoffs. Not even close. 6-10. That's not great at all. Steelers winning awards left and right as per usual. Do we have any sort of offensive, defensive rookie of the year? We get one with McIntyre. Defensively has to be our guy as well, and it is. Good start to the rebuild after a year, 2 years of bad performance, but good development. Steelers Raiders running away with it again. And that's the only awards we would win, which is all right because those are the 2 you'd want to win. And you have the Jaguars Falcons, and I believe the Jaguars win. So kind of a shot in the face to me a little bit. That's, just getting to the Super Bowl alone is rather impressive considering we couldn't even do that with a much better squad. EA always trolling. And here, we're just withdrawing on all of it. Using our new skill that we found out from the comment section. just letting everyone go, not having a single chance of being tagged. And you know EA would tag Jamal Charles 100%. And here we see another pretty mediocre free agency. We do see Jeremy Hill, though. We need a running back, and he's on the quote-unquote younger side. Same with Itachu, but he is normal, unlike the normal superstar he would have. So we passed him up. The only guy we're going to grab is Jeremy Hill. And here we see a good pro day, which I don't know if that guarantees them as a superstar player or not, but we're still interested, obviously. And Jason Hagen looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Safety's kind of a need because we have slow ones, and Weddle, of course, getting on the older side. He's already, what, 32, 33? Tight end, another issue for us. Don't know if we're going to be able to snag one. I want the guy that skipped the combine, but those guys are a little risky. Number 1 overall pick goes to the Vikings. What is our selection? We went from number, what, I believe 7 to 11 here at number 11. We have an option and a couple of guys we know that are automatically good. Problem is, 24 years old for a 5'9" slot receiver is a little expensive. So instead of trading down using our pick, we use it trading Flacco. We use Flacco in a second round to trade down to the Texans. We land one hell of a middle linebacker here. Took him 11, supposed to go number 2. Derek Sayer is really good. Been looking at that running back, but we don't need him. We just got Hill. And another really good player. I know he's normal dev, but what a steal here. We're turning this team around in a hurry. Going for, I believe, our 3rd first-round pick here. 342 pounds, 22 years old. Landing yet another great rookie. And the video title probably is like something to do with greatest rookie classes ever or something, because, not going to lie, this rebuild, tons and tons of great rookie talent. You can see yet another quick development trade corner, which, another spoiler alert, he ends up not playing the number 1, 2, or 3 all his career with us. Hackett, quick development trade again. The talent is unrelenting. It's just constant beastie talent. Here it is again. 75 overall, and I made a mistake with this guy. We didn't use him either. We didn't. We had him as a backup as well. Trading a 3rd and a 6th next year to get a 5 and a 6 this year to try and grab some more talent. Rich Horan, looking decent. Is that the guy we go with? We traded up, assuming a guy would be there, and I don't think he was there. We're going to grab a quarterback. Not sure the reasoning behind this, but land yet another really great player late in the draft. I mean, how many quick development trade good players are we going to land? It's crazy. Of course, we miss here. It says excellent pick, but I mean, let's be honest, it really isn't. Here, guy we did actually want quite a bit. Good, but he's slow with normal, so nothing spectacular. Here again, good. We know he has superstar, but at 24 years old, really isn't worth it. I mean, he's somewhat fast, but 24, it makes them very slow for developing. Nate Mays, 24 as well. Very good, though. 6'2", like 93 speed. Very solid. Connor Cummins, superstar. You know, can't miss player there. Not needed by us. We drafted really well. Late for McIntyre. Donnie Ali, I wanted him, and thank God we didn't get him. Jason Earl, however, very good as well. Once again, I don't think he's as good as Sayers, though. So we landed a really great draft. The Bills get 2 great defensive tackles here. This guy's not that talented, but he does have superstar, and you know I love me some superstar. Going on to the free safety, who he missed by like 5 picks, and he has superstar. His speed is a little slow, but he's got great hit power. He's somewhat young, and superstar development trait. It's so deadly to miss. This was the second part of the video, and like I mentioned, we did lose the file. Of course, this is the team. We lost everything. Like, it just didn't. We didn't lose the file. There was no file to begin with. It was an 8-minute video. I could use it, but I mean, it's too late. I already edited this. But if you do enjoy these videos, please leave a like or comment with something, saying thanks, or comment with, bro, you rock, or, you know, you suck. I don't fucking know. We got to re-sign some players. But yeah, this took me like 4.5 hours to record, and I was talking through most of it. It's so deadly. So deadly. That sucks so much. Fast like his father. Let's see. We'll be the judges of that. Looking pretty decent. 23 years old. Late first. Looks like a guy we can get behind, especially considering, once again, Weddle. He's going to go. He's old, man. Unless we already got... No, did we get rid of him already? We might have... Nah, did we? I don't honestly remember. McKenzie wins the Heisman. Linebacker McKenzie is superstar development trait. We know that for a fact. Really, we are missing the offensive players because our wide receiver really didn't develop himself. We got a center here looking decent. Not sure we're in the market for that. We drafted a lot of offensive linemen, and we just haven't needed them. Defensive linemen we could shift them to DT or actually use them as a defensive lineman. What else are we missing? And then we got a pass rusher. Looking all right. Might be the move for us, depending on what our pick is. Week 17, of course, we miss again. This time, somehow even worse than last year, 4-12. Probably had something to do with the fact that we were starting a 73 overall rookie wide receiver. But 4-12, man, that is really bad. Look at this streak of losses. That's like 1 win, 6, 7, 8 losses in a row. Win, and then another 2 losses. Win, and then another 2 losses. That's bad. That is really bad. I didn't think we were going to play that bad this year. I think we turned it around enough to go at least like 7-9. But at the same time, that's going to help us because we're going to get a better draft positioning. And McIntyre slightly does better than last year. Jeremy Hill really doesn't impress. Decent yards per carry, I suppose. Perriman actually had a pretty decent season. Hackett, really, really disappointing. Offensive line, really, really, really disappointing. Holy shit. That's why Connor Watts probably doesn't start. I put him at like center, I think. Really terrible. Sayers did well. Andre McCarthy, very good player. I don't even remember drafting him, to be honest, but 15+ sacks, that is good. The picks have been really amazing, too. We had a really good year for our rookie defensive players, turning this ship around big time. 32nd offense. Defense has to be top 5, top 10, and we're number 8, so that's a big increase. It's just the offense still can't get it going. Connor Cummins, 95 overall. 95 overall, year 1. That's insane. Do we get any of the awards, though? We had to get at least defensive. Hackett barely missed it to the Beast Cummins, which is kind of impressive. Derek Sayers and McCarthy lead the top 2 defensive rookies of the year. And Cummins is the best quarterback in general for the AFC side. That is really, really impressive. Really should have showed you guys what he is, too, because I don't show him for the whole rest of the rebuild, I believe. Probably should have taken a look, and I could do it now, but, you know, a little not interested in that. And here is our team. Not that it matters, since we once again miss the playoffs. Very disappointing. The offensive line regressing a little bit. Surprisingly, McIntyre regresses. I never see the quarterback regress very often. It's usually everyone around him, but in all fairness, he did have a really rough season. I know he doesn't have the greatest talent around him, but he still had a really bad season. You got to hold him accountable to that. Our plan's not really working. I mean, we're getting better through the draft, but we're having really bad seasons still, which sucks. Here goes the free agency class, and nothing too spectacular, but with Yonda getting older, I think Zach Martin might be the move, and that is the case. We signed him, very expensive deal, 4 years, $52 million. Might end up playing tackle for us because that's a tough position, and you know he could play well there. And from 4-12, we get the number 1 overall pick. We trade down to the Broncos, and you might think that's unrealistic, but watch the move they pull here. If I ever get to it. If I ever get to it. Am I going to get to it? I do get to it. And there he is. Nope, he's still not there. There he is, the cornerback. Very talented. We'd look at him after this. The Vikings also landed a really good guy there, but the Vikings' biggest need was cornerback. And, of course, they got scammed by us, basically. And number 3 overall, we take the tight end, even though we had a great wide receiver prospect. It's just there's another great receiver in the 2nd round. So we're going to wait for that guy instead. So we really just went with need. I believe this is a mid-first. Yeah, 18th pick overall. Landed a great player. Supposed to go 15. And he is talented. So we have a guy to replace Weddle with. And here we go for our mid-second guy. We take him 20th, though. Normal dev, but he has so much potential. And he's only 21 years old. Here, quick development trait. 31st overall, or 30th overall pick. Landing so many great players, and that was the draft for us. Here's the guy the Vikings got at number 2 instead of the corner. Landed one hell of a good player, like one of the best I've ever seen. Like all those pass rush stats, amazing. McCaleb, on the older side, but once again, can't miss with him either. Superstar development trait, cornerback. Here is the wide receiver we were going to go with, and man, oh man, is he a beast. But overall, I think we made the good decision because trading down was the way we got more picks to trade back up. And also, we have a first round from the Buccaneers next year. Here's Stovall. They talked about him. We knew he had superstar, but we also knew he was going to be bad because they had him as a red talent. But anyways, this is our team going into, I believe, the third season. I believe it's the third season. We're getting better and better, but our seasons aren't. We're actually going down. We started 6-10. We're now 4-12. We have a trade offer for the trade block, Eric Weddle, and the best we could do is go to the Bengals. But don't worry, guys. I know you guys hate the quote-unquote non-realistic stuff, but we do pay back the Bengals in the draft, so sorry about that, but it'll have to wait for now. And here's some of the players that we've seen that are decent, and some of the players they talked about. We're still looking for pass rush. Cornerback we always look for. You can never not need one. But once again, offense. It's the firepower. We just don't freaking have it, and that's not going to do it for us because we do not need a quarterback. McIntyre is good enough. We're still going to scout him, though, because we need to see, do we have the goatiest goat of all time on our hands? And TJ Dantzler looking decent. Dallas Thrash looking decent. We don't need him, though. I know Jefferson is on the slower side, but we don't need him because Jefferson's still good enough. Believe it or not, we missed the playoffs again. 7-9, though, much better. And I'll tell you this, we had a great comeback because we started the season like 2-9. 2-9 to 7-9, which is really impressive. You can see a win there, 5 losses, win there, another 3 or 4 losses, and then a win, a loss, and then like 5 straight wins, or 4 straight wins. Really impressive stuff late, which is all right. I mean, as long as we're getting better, even if it's not playoff worthy, I need to see those 7-9s, 8-8s. So Dak wins MVP. It might have been second in a row. McIntyre has a lot of yards here, and he 100% boosts up his touchdown rating. Jeremy Hill had a really good season. His offense seemed to do really well. You could see Finney even had a great season as a rookie. And that might be the greatest rookie season we've ever had from a receiver, like ever. Offensive line does a little bit better. Look at the sacks, though. Look at where the sack. I just passed it up, I guess. Are we going to pass that up? Look at the sacks, though. Was that 20 and 19.5? The best young duo in the league. Best duo in the league, just in general. Really good. You got to think Cockrell, if not for our middle linebacker, Cockrell would be winning Defensive Rookie of the Year with that performance. But, of course, middle linebackers, they're almost guaranteed shoe-in for 10 for 11 for Tucker. Not bad at all. But let's take a look. Kick return, punt return, not bad, I suppose. I don't know why Finney was even in there. Offensive stats, 12th. What about defensive? 27th, man. I don't understand why this team is so on and off. Dak wins the Super Bowl, the MVP, like we knew. Falcons with a Coach of the Year. Might have been back-to-back for him. Cummins, kind of down year, but he still was on the list, which means he was good enough. Really damn good player for them. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Finney. Finney. I don't know. But very shocking. You never get that from us. And then Cockrell does win the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. So good stuff from him. Don't know if those guys were good enough to win awards that aren't rookie related. But nonetheless, winning rookie awards are huge, especially Finney, because we need a wide receiver or a tight end to do well. And that's exactly what we had. So McIntyre, whatever, I'm fucking losing it. McIntyre has a guy that might be his starting receiver full time. He looks like he could get to like an 85, 86 with that much XP. And then defensively, Cockrell looks like he might be able to get to an 85, 86 himself with that kind of good stat line. We have re-signings, though. Ronnie Stanley looking to get himself a contract, and he does. And I think we do let every single other player go. So just Stanley gets a contract this year. Not that we had anyone crazy going into free agency. It might have been Tavon Young. I don't know if that's this year or next year where we need to re-sign him. But here you could see Dolphins, Seahawks, and surprising teams from the AFC, really. I believe it was Jaguars. I don't remember the full list, but it was some Jaguars were in there, and then we have the Dolphins in there. The Dolphins really don't belong there. We're used to seeing the Seahawks, though. That's not a shocker to us. Here we go with the juicy free agency class, and you see some great talent. We do offer Jalen Ramsey, I believe, 77, 78 points. We only had to go 70, but we had to make sure that we did get him, and it made it, make it look good. And we do have a couple of guys in free agency here that we want. Here's the reveal of who we grabbed: Deion Jones, Laramie Tunsil, and Jalen Ramsey. If you didn't know, Yonda retired, so Tunsil's going to replace him, which is nice. We have the 8th pick overall and the 11th. What we need is offensive line, apparently, and that's what we're taking. Decent player there. And once again, I don't end up starting him. But what I forgot to show you, besides this slow development trait middle linebacker, is we did grab a superstar defensive tackle with the 8th pick. For some reason, it just got edited out. 78 overall with superstar. Not bad at all. And we still have lots of cap room, although we might have to re-sign our guys from year 1 from the rookie class. Dallas Thrash, decent, not worth an early pick. Barry Samuel, decent, not worth an early pick either. Donald Cadet, decent, I guess worth his mid-tier pick. Dantzler, 100% worth it. Look at him. The speed on the man. 96 speed, 94 excel, 5'10 quick development trait, 22 years old, very solid. And then look at the Texans. Like, they landed a good quarterback, but they didn't need one. What is EA doing? EA is forcing the Texans to suck. It's like, we never have good quarterbacks, so what are we going to do? Have nothing but good quarterbacks, am I right? And then we see the tight end that the Giants took, worse than ours, so I'm happy with that. Saints get an absolute steal here. We're going to show the superstar. Boom. Doesn't fit our team, but he's good for coverage. And they got him mid-first, which is really impressive. Rashawn Weatherington, not a bad player either, but normal dev. Here we go with another season. I don't know if this is going to be the last one or the next one's going to be the last one, but we've done quite a bit of seasons, and I think this could be the year after that free agency class. And, of course, just developing over the years. We have Finney at a 87 overall, and the defense is, it's not great, but it is great. Like, it hasn't played well, but this should be the year that it finally does hold up to that top 5, top 10 standard. And here, lots and lots and lots of players to re-sign. Of course, we want McIntyre, so we're going to sign him. Don't know anyone else, though. Lots of caps, so we do have money to sign just about everyone we wanted. And, of course, we do sign him. And here I'm showing you guys that we do end up making the playoffs, but the sim messed up. I simmed it from week 9, trying to go to 15. Sim to playoffs, and I always stop at 14, and it goes to 15 to look at the Heisman winner. And sadly, my game froze again, but I guess the EA servers finished the sim for me. So, I mean, anticlimactic, but 11-5 takes out all the sting of having a shitty sim. Somehow we didn't get a bye week. We were 11-5, just like the rest of the top of the league, but it was good enough for third, nothing better. So the NFC side, really the weak link in this league, as the AFC side makes up for like the top 4 to 6 of the top 4 to 6. It's ridiculous. I don't know. The NFC side, I guess they're just prime now and they just aren't prime for the future. I have no idea. But here we are looking at the stats. We can already see 8th offense. McIntyre having a better year. He's locking down on more touchdowns and giving up less picks. Rushing really good. Finney does really well again. Clearly the number 1 receiver on the team, and the offensive line does better than last time again. So everything looks to be in order with us just progressing defensively. One of the best seasons we've ever had. Sacks were down a little bit, but our youngster coming in clutch again, just not giving up. He keeps getting better. I would have expected him to goddamn break the record by now with just how well he played in his rookie year without having upgraded stats. But here, looking for MVP, and we do get number 10 there, so we're at least on the list. Give us some sort of motivation. And do we have any rookie awards? Offensive, I don't even think we had anyone. Defensive, number 5 for a defensive tackle isn't bad at all. Do we have any other awards that maybe offensive line, like Zach Martin perhaps? And that's exactly what we get. Number 3 for Cockrell, not bad. Number 2 for Deion Jones. Number 2 for Ramsey. So just barely missing out on some really good awards. which sucks because that's some good XP because those guys are still really, really young. But this is the team we're going to go into heading into the playoffs against, I believe, the 80 overall Texans, if I'm not mistaken. Defensive, of course, the defense is much better than the offense. Probably a 99 compared to like 90 offense. 92 overall to their 84, actually. So they're a lot better than I thought. Middle of the fourth quarter, and you can see, I believe they are, no, we're the ones driving up by 4, and they stop us. So it's only going to be a field goal. They have the opportunity to tie this thing up on this drive, and they're looking like they might do that. 4th and 7, and we lock down. Is that going to be the game? It is. So not only is it our first year winning, having a winning season, making the playoffs, but we also get a win in the wild card game, even though we probably should have a bye. Just barely missed out on it. Decent stats from everyone. Hackett actually had a really good season, and that would be the tail of the tape, is him kind of coming alive here in the playoffs. I believe every single game he was the yards leading receiver on our team. Deion Jones playing really well. McCartney doing all right. Or McCarthy, Jesus, we got there. Justin Tucker, though, missing 2 field goals. We only won by 7. That's kind of big. I know one of them was a 59-yarder, but still. 93 now to their 82 overall. Shouldn't be a challenge for us, but as you can see here, 2 minutes left. It is a challenge for us as it's all tied up, and once again, trying to drive down the field for a clutch drive, and we do. Up by 3, the Chargers have plenty of time, but not with this defense completely locked down, and that's going to be another win. So we are now on to the AFC Championship game against God knows who. I think it was either the Titans or the Patriots. Jacoby Brissett is their quarterback. Very weird quarterback there for the Chargers. We thought it would have been Phillip Rivers still. It's not. I guess it is actually rather late. He's on his way out as well soon. But I guess that's not a bit from now for real life, since we are, 3 or 4 years down the line. And defensively, we're all right, but with a 99 overall, I haven't showed you guys yet, but we are officially 99, no leaked information, officially a 99 overall on defense. Hasn't really showed anything for us, but here, mid-4th, and we're seeing it in action, 43-10. The Titans were in it the whole way until the defense, right in the kind of early to middle 4th quarter, just completely took over, gave us short fields, and we scored 43 points against the Titans, which is a pretty good sight because I believe they are the toughest team we've played all postseason. Well, I mean, overall-wise on paper, but in game they played really poorly. Perriman had a really long pass play. I believe it was like 70 yards, so he did lead the game in receiving yards for us. Defensively, not bad. The safeties both coming up clutch. And you can see, surprisingly, it's the Rams in the Super Bowl versus us because the Falcons couldn't win. 4-point loss. Here, we see ourselves 2 minutes left in the 4th, and we are actually down, trying to clutch this shit up. And what is it going to be? We do tie it up. 5 seconds left. And Todd Gurley runs for 75. Of course, I ain't handling that. We're going to go into the 3rd quarter up by 14 and 35-14. Start of the 4th. This is what it should have been. EA screwed us. I don't think anyone could be mad because it's proof. EA screwed us. We should have won the damn game. And what do we do when we redo it? Because I'm not accepting that. If you guys get mad at me for not accepting a 75-yard run as the last play when it's tied up, like, they wouldn't even run the ball in real life. They would kneel it, for 1. And 2, you're telling me they're going to give up a 75-yard run with 5 seconds left. Get out of here. Get out of here. And Jared Goff very angry with himself because he knows he blew a great opportunity. And I kind of maybe accidentally skipped over the ceremony, but that's all right. We know what it looks like. And overall, played a pretty damn good game team-wise. They barely snuck out one on us in the first try. Complete BS by EA. We redo it, and we pretty much blow them out, I like to think. We were driving in for another score. 93 overall, 95-0, 99D. Built one hell of a team, mostly through the draft. The free agency guys kind of just put us over the hump. The retirements were rather rough on us. I wish Suggs was younger, but you can't depend on him. He's very old and retires year 1. Yonda barely lasted maybe, what, 3 years was it? 2 or 3, which isn't too bad. But I think we built a really good team. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry about the voiceover. I know. But Friday, I should have a Seasons video, maybe a Draft Champions video, an Outlast video, and a Primetime Franchise video. We'll see. I don't know if I want to put 4 videos up on one day, so you might see 1 or 2 of those during the weekend instead. But we'll see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you come back for next video. But until next video, that's 3 videos and 1 outro. I'll tell you what. See ya!